You wanted to write something, anything, but your mind said, "My English is not good enough." I know that silence. I live that silence. But today, we break it, together, because the most powerful tool to improve your English is already in your hands: a simple diary. Not a grammar book, not a textbook, a diary. Want to know how this little habit changed my life? Then keep watching till the end. Chapter 1. The day I wrote my first English sentence. I remember the day very clearly. It was quiet. I was sitting at a small desk in my room. The window was open. The sky was gray, and the world felt still. I had a notebook in front of me. I had a pen in my hand. I told myself, today, I will write in English. But I was afraid. My hands were not moving. My brain felt empty. I looked at the paper again and again. Nothing came out. I thought, what if I write something wrong? What if my grammar is bad? What if I don't know the right words? I waited and waited, but the page was still white. Then something small happened. I took a deep breath. I whispered to myself, "It's okay. Just one sentence." I closed my eyes and thought about my day. I didn't try to be perfect. I didn't try to sound smart. I just wrote what I felt. Slowly, I wrote, "Today is a good day." That was it. Only 5 words. But when I saw that sentence on the paper, I smiled. It was small, but it was mine. My first English sentence. And for the first time, I felt proud. I didn't care if the grammar was perfect. I didn't care if the sentence was short. I just knew one thing. I had started. That moment changed everything. I had always waited for the perfect time to write. I thought I needed to learn more before starting. I thought I had to be ready. But the truth is, you are never 100% ready. And you don't need to be. That first sentence is the beginning of your journey. It's not about writing long paragraphs. It's about breaking the silence. It's about speaking with your pen, even if your voice is still shy. That day, I learned that starting is more important than being perfect. The next day, I came back to the notebook. I felt a little nervous again, but not as much as the first time. I looked at the sentence I wrote yesterday. It was still there, simple, kind, honest. Then I wrote a new one. I drank coffee in the morning. It was longer than the first sentence. I made a small mistake, maybe, but I didn't stop. I kept going. I was no longer afraid of my English. I was becoming friends with it. Slowly, day by day, word by word, my confidence grew. I didn't know many words in the beginning, so I used the ones I had. I didn't know all the rules, so I followed my feelings. And guess what? That was enough. I wasn't writing to show the world. I was writing to show myself, to see my own thoughts in English, to learn from my own heart. Every sentence became a mirror, and the more I wrote, the more I saw the real me. Not the student, not the learner, but the person who was trying. And that was powerful. Sometimes, we wait for someone to teach us. We wait for the right course, the perfect teacher, or the best grammar book. But the most powerful teacher is already inside you. It's your effort. It's your voice. It's your decision to begin. That first sentence may look small, but it carries a big meaning. It says, "I am ready to grow." It says, "I am not afraid to try." It says, "I will learn from my own words." That's what my first sentence gave me. Not just words, but belief. Looking back, I laugh a little. That tiny sentence, "Today is a good day," opened the door to a new life. I have written hundreds of sentences since then. Some are better. Some are still simple. But every one of them helped me. Every one of them was a step forward. And it all began with 5 small words. That is the magic of keeping a diary. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to write a lot. You just need to begin. So today, I want to tell you, write your first sentence. Don't wait. Don't worry. Don't look for the perfect time or the perfect grammar. Just pick up your pen, open a notebook, and write one sentence about your day, your feeling, your dream, your morning, your breakfast, anything. It doesn't matter what you write. What matters is that you write. One sentence today can lead to 10 tomorrow. One small beginning can create a big change. I was just like you. I was scared. I was unsure. But I took the first step. And now, I'm speaking, writing, and living in English more confidently. All because of that one sentence. And now it's your turn. Don't wait for someone to give you permission. Give yourself permission to start. You don't need a classroom. You don't need a teacher. You only need one brave sentence. So, what will your first English sentence be? Write it. Whisper it. Feel it. And when you do, your journey begins. Chapter 2. Why a diary is better than any English class. I used to think that learning English only happens in a classroom. I believed I needed a teacher, a textbook, and grammar rules to improve. I sat on chairs, listened to lessons, memorized words, and filled notebooks with exercises. But even after months of studying, I still couldn't speak well. I couldn't write from my heart. I was always thinking about rules, not words. My mind was full, but my voice was silent. Then, something small changed everything. A notebook and my own words. My diary. You see, a classroom teaches you what English is, but a diary helps you live it. In school, you learn sentences from a book. In a diary, you write about your real life. In class, you worry about marks and mistakes. But in your diary, there's no one to judge you. No red pen. No fear. Just you and your thoughts. When I started writing daily, I noticed something amazing. I wasn't just learning English. I was using it. I was connecting English to my life, to my morning coffee, to my worries, to my happy moments, to my dreams. That's when I realized something powerful. English must not stay in the classroom. It must come with you, to your room, your table, your mind. A diary does that. A diary is like a private classroom where the only student is you, and the teacher is also you. You can be kind, slow, patient. You can write with feelings. You can make mistakes and laugh. You can try again. That freedom is more powerful than any grammar lesson. Because now, you're learning with emotion. In school, I was afraid to speak because I didn't want to be wrong. But in my diary, I wasn't afraid to write. I could say anything, even silly things, even sad things. I could be honest. And being honest in English made me stronger. I started writing simple things, what I ate, how I felt, what I wanted. Slowly, my English became part of me. Not something from a book, not something to pass a test, but something I used to talk to myself, and later, with others. Many people think learning happens when someone else is talking, but deep learning happens when you talk to yourself. When you write in a diary, you are having a conversation with your thoughts. You are thinking in English. You are feeling in English. That is fluency. And the best part? You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. No homework, no pressure, no exam. Just a pen and your heart. Some days, my diary is just one line. Other days, it's a full page. But every time I write, I grow. My vocabulary grows. My confidence grows. And my connection with English grows. I don't write because I have to. I write because I want to. It's like talking to a best friend. A diary listens to you. It holds your words. And later, when you read them again, You see how far you've come. In class, someone else chooses what you learn. But in your diary, you choose. You write about your family, your pets, your work, your worries. It's your English for your life. That makes it stronger. You learn words that matter to you. You remember them because they have feelings. That's why diary writing works. Because it's real. I often tell my students, if you want to be good at English, stop only learning it. Start living it. And writing a diary is one of the best ways to live English. It's not about writing big stories or perfect essays. It's about capturing your day in simple words. And over time, these simple words turn into powerful practice. I never thought I could learn more outside the classroom. But I did. My diary became my best teacher. It was always with me. It knew my story. It helped me speak clearly. Not just in English, but in life. It helped me find my voice, not just my grammar. That is the magic I want you to feel too. So, if you're waiting for the perfect English class, stop waiting. Your diary is waiting for you. And it's better than any class because it's yours. 100% yours. No rules. No grades. Just growth. Real, quiet, beautiful growth. Chapter 3. You only need one sentence a day. When people think about writing in English, they imagine writing full pages, long essays, or perfect stories. That thought makes many learners feel scared. It makes them feel tired before even starting. They think, I don't have time, or my English is not good enough to write a lot. I used to think the same way. I believed I needed to write many paragraphs every day to improve. But then, something changed. I read one short idea that said, start with one sentence a day. That simple idea changed my entire English journey. One sentence. Just one. It sounds too small, doesn't it? But it's not. That one sentence is a key. A key that opens the door to practice, to habit, to confidence. It's not about how long you write. It's about how often you write. One sentence is easy. It takes less than a minute. You can do it in the morning, before school or work. You can do it at night, before sleep. You can write it in your phone, in your notebook, even on a napkin. But when you do it every day, something powerful starts to happen. I remember the first time I wrote only one sentence and closed my notebook. I felt strange. I thought, is this enough? But the next day, I did it again. Then again. Then again. After a week, I had 7 sentences. Not much, right? But for me, it was everything. I had started something real. Something I could continue. I was building a routine. A rhythm. It was small, but it was mine. It didn't feel hard. It didn't feel scary. It felt possible. One day, I rode. I went to the market. The next day, I rode. I saw a dog on the way. Then, I was happy today. These were simple sentences. No long words. No big grammar. But they were mine. And every sentence gave me one more reason to keep writing. I didn't feel pressure to be perfect. I felt free to be real. That freedom gave me courage. It helped me enjoy the process. You don't need to fill a page. You don't need to write like a professional. You only need to show up, one sentence at a time. The secret to learning English is not speed. It is not perfection. The secret is showing up every day. When you write one sentence a day, you tell your brain, this is important. You build trust with yourself. You say, I can do this. That belief is stronger than any grammar rule. That belief will take you further than any big plan you never start. Some people say, but one sentence cannot help me. I understand. It feels too small. But imagine this. If you write one sentence every day, you will have 365 sentences in a year. That's 365 chances to learn, to remember, to grow. And on many days, you will write more. Because when you start with one sentence, sometimes your heart wants to say more. And you do. You write a second line, a third, maybe a full paragraph. But you started with one. And that is why it works. When learning English feels hard, when it feels big, remember this. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. You only need to take one step. Your one sentence is that step. Even on busy days, even on sad days, even when you feel tired, you can write one sentence. And that one line will keep your English alive. It's like water for a plant. A little each day helps it grow. I've seen learners try big plans and stop. They write 5 pages one day, then nothing for a week. Then they feel guilty. Then they quit. But the learners who succeed are the ones who stay small, stay simple, and stay consistent. One sentence keeps the door open. One sentence keeps the heart soft. One sentence says, I'm still here. So don't wait for a perfect day. Don't wait for a big idea. Just write one sentence today. Write about your breakfast, your bus ride, your favorite movie, your feeling, your dream. It doesn't matter what you write. What matters is that you write something. Just one line. That's all you need to begin. And if you don't know what to say, write this. I'm learning English, and today I'm writing one sentence. That sentence is enough. It's more than enough. It is your first brick. Keep placing one brick each day, and one day, you will have a beautiful house made of your own English. Chapter 4. My simple diary setup, no apps needed. When I first decided to write a diary in English, I thought I needed something special. Maybe a perfect notebook, maybe a special app, maybe a digital tool that would make everything easier. I searched online. I downloaded diary apps. I looked at fancy journals in stores. But nothing felt right. Everything looked complicated or expensive. It made me feel like I needed to buy something before I could begin. But then, one day, I saw an old notebook on my table. It had nothing inside, just plain pages. And I thought, what if I start with this? So I did. And that decision made everything simple. You do not need any app. You do not need any perfect pen. You do not need a special planner or digital tool. All you need is something you already have, a notebook, even a piece of paper, and any pen or pencil. That's it. This is your diary. This is your safe space. Your little world. No one will read it. No one will judge it. It's just for you. This makes it powerful. You don't need Wi-Fi to use it. You don't need to create an account or remember a password. You just open the page and write. I remember writing my first few diary entries with a broken pen. The ink was not even smooth. But I kept writing. And something magical happened. That simple act, writing with my hand, made the words feel real. I could see my English. I could feel the flow. The paper didn't correct me. It didn't beep when I made a mistake. It just let me write. And that made me write more. When I wrote on paper, I felt calm. It was slow, but it was beautiful. I started enjoying my writing time more than anything else. Your diary doesn't need a special cover. It doesn't need to be expensive. In fact, the simpler, the better. Why? Because when it's simple, you feel free. You don't worry about making it perfect. You don't feel pressure to write something amazing. You just write what's in your heart. And that is the goal, to connect English to your real life. A plain notebook gives you that freedom. I used an old-school notebook for months. And I still keep it. Because it holds my journey. It reminds me where I started. Some people like to write with colorful pens. Some like to decorate their pages. That's okay too. If it helps you feel happy, do it. But remember, decoration is not the goal. Progress is. And progress comes from showing up, not from stickers or fancy fonts. You can write in a notebook. You can write on small cards. You can even write in a small pocket diary you carry with you. What matters is that you keep it with you. Because when it's near you, you are more likely to use it. Now, if you really want to write on your phone or computer, that's okay too. But make it simple. Use the Notes app or a Google document. Don't waste time choosing a beautiful diary app. The tool is not important. The habit is. Some people get lost in choosing apps and never start writing. Don't let that be you. Begin now with whatever you have. Don't wait for perfect tools. Use what's already in your hands. I kept my diary near my bed. Every night, before sleeping, I opened it and wrote something small. Some days it was just one sentence. Some days it became a page. But the notebook was always there, waiting. I didn't need to open a phone or charge a device. I just opened a page. And that made it easy to build a habit. When something is simple, it stays in your life. When it's hard or heavy, we drop it. So keep it light. Keep it small. Keep it close. If you want, you can also give your diary a name. I did. I called it my English friend. It made it feel like I was talking to someone. Every time I opened it, I felt like I was having a little chat. It was not a school task. It was a friendly moment. And that made it easier to be honest. I told my diary about my day, about what I ate, what I felt, what I dreamed. I wrote slowly, gently, with love, and the diary always listened. There is something special about writing by hand. Your brain works differently. You remember more. You feel more. You write with your body and your heart. I believe that's why it works so well. Don't worry if your handwriting is bad. Mine was, too. But that's not the point. The point is to express yourself, to grow, to learn with joy. And your simple notebook is your tool. So today, I want you to find something, a notebook, a pen, even a piece of paper, and put it somewhere you can see. That's your English diary now. No more waiting. No more excuses. Just simple tools for a strong habit. The magic is not in the pen. It's in the words you will write with it. And those words will change your life. Chapter 5. What to write when you have no idea. There will be days when you open your diary and nothing comes. Your pen is in your hand. Your notebook is open, but your mind is empty. You sit there, looking at the page, hoping a sentence will appear. But it doesn't. You wait, and then you close the book without writing anything. I know that feeling. I've been there many times. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't care. It's because you think your words must be special. You believe you must write something interesting, something smart, something perfect. But the truth is different. You don't need to write something amazing. You only need to write something real. On the days when I didn't know what to write, I started with the most honest sentence I could think of. Sometimes, I simply wrote, "I don't know what to write today." That sentence was true. It was mine. And it was enough. Once I wrote that, something happened. My brain relaxed. My heart opened. And slowly, more words came. But maybe I can write about my lunch. Or, I feel a little tired today. Or, I watched a video about dogs. These words were not poetry. They were not deep ideas. But they were me. And when I started writing them, I stopped feeling stuck. When you don't know what to write, start with your day. What did you do today? Did you wake up early? Did you eat something special? Did you go outside? Did you stay home? Write one thing, even if it's small. For example, I woke up late. Or, I had tea with my sister. Or, it rained all day. These small moments are gold. They are your English. They are your story. Don't wait for big events. Don't wait for perfect ideas. The small, everyday things are what make your diary powerful. Another thing you can do is use sentence starters. These are little beginnings to help you write. You can use the same ones every day. You can even copy them into the front of your notebook. Try these. Today I feel, I want to, I learned, I saw, I need, I love, I think, or I remember. These starters are like little doors. When you open one, you find more thoughts waiting behind it. And once you begin, the rest becomes easier. Sometimes, when I had no idea what to write, I asked myself questions. Not big questions, just simple ones. What made me smile today? What food did I eat? Did I talk to anyone? What song did I hear? Asking questions helps your brain find answers. And those answers become your diary sentences. Even writing about something boring is okay. Because the goal is not to be interesting. The goal is to practice, to connect, to express. And if you really don't want to write about your day, you can write about your dreams. What do you want in the future? Where do you want to go? What kind of English speaker do you want to be? What job do you want? What life do you imagine? When I started writing about my dreams, I felt inspired. I wrote, I want to travel to London. Then I wrote, I want to speak English at work. These dreams made me feel strong. They reminded me why I was learning. They gave meaning to my words. You can also write about your feelings, even if they are not happy feelings. Some days, I wrote, I feel sad. Other days, I feel proud. Or, I feel tired but strong. Feelings are powerful. They make your writing real. And when you read your old entries later, you will see how you changed, how you grew. You will see the days when you felt low, but still wrote. And that will make you feel proud. Your diary does not need rules. It does not need big ideas. It just needs your truth. If your truth today is, I watched a funny video, write that. If it's, I feel alone, write that too. Every feeling, every moment, every little thought is welcome. And the more you write, the more ideas will come. You will teach your brain that this is a safe space. A place without pressure. A place where your English can breathe. So, next time you open your diary and your mind feels empty, don't close the book. Don't walk away. Just write one honest line. Even if that line says, I have no words today. That's a sentence. That's your English voice showing up. And every time you do that, you become stronger. Your voice becomes clearer. Your diary becomes deeper. And slowly, day by day, those small sentences will turn into something beautiful. A quiet, personal story written in English, your story. So don't be afraid of the empty page. It's not your enemy. It's your invitation, your chance to begin again. And all you need to do is write. Chapter 6. Make mistakes. That's the plan. When I first started writing in my English diary, I wanted everything to be perfect. I checked every word. I worried about every spelling. I opened the dictionary too many times. I erased and rewrote my sentences. And sometimes, after all that work, I still felt unsure. I thought, what if this is wrong? That fear made me slow. It made me tired. And sometimes, it made me stop writing. Because I was too afraid of making mistakes. But one day, I asked myself something important. I said, what if making mistakes is not the problem? What if it's the plan? That simple question changed everything. I stopped trying to write like a perfect student. I started writing like a real learner. And real learners make mistakes. That's how they grow. Think about babies. When they learn to walk, they fall again and again. But no one tells them, don't fall. We cheer for them. We smile when they stand up again. Learning English is like learning to walk. You will fall. You will make grammar mistakes. You will forget words. But that's okay. That's part of the process. And the diary is the perfect place to do it. Your English diary is your safe space. No one is grading you. No one is correcting you. No one is watching. It's just you and your paper. That is why it is the best place to make mistakes. You can write something wrong today, and tomorrow you will see it and fix it. Or maybe you won't fix it today, and that's fine too. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to keep writing. Because every mistake teaches you something. Every wrong word brings you closer to the right one. When I look back at my old diaries, I laugh. I wrote sentences that made no sense. I used the wrong tenses. I mixed up words. But I kept writing. And because I kept writing, I got better. Slowly. Naturally. Without pressure. I didn't stop myself. I didn't say, this is not good enough. I said, this is my English today. Tomorrow, it will grow. And it did. That's the power of practice without fear. Many people wait until their English is good enough before they start writing. But that day never comes. Because the only way to become good is to begin when you're not. If you wait for perfection, you'll wait forever. But if you accept mistakes, you'll learn faster than you ever imagined. Your diary doesn't need perfect English. It needs your effort, your voice, your honesty. The more honest you are, the better your English will become. Sometimes, I even played a little game with myself. I wrote without checking. I didn't stop to fix anything. I just wrote freely. And later, when I read it again, I noticed my mistakes. But instead of feeling bad, I smiled. Because I saw how much I had learned. The mistake was not my enemy. It was my teacher. It showed me where I needed to grow. And because I saw it, I remembered it better. Don't be afraid to use new words, even if you're unsure. Don't be afraid to guess. Don't be afraid to spell things wrong. Just write. You are not writing for a test. You are writing for yourself. And when you give yourself this freedom, you will enjoy the process more. Your English will feel like a friend, not a subject. If you're still nervous, here's something simple you can do. After writing your diary entry, add a little note. Maybe I made mistakes, but I'm proud I wrote today. This sentence will remind you that effort matters more than perfection, and it will teach your brain to feel happy after writing, not afraid. One day, you will read your old diary and see all the small mistakes. But you will also see your growth. You will see how brave you were, how real you were, and you will feel proud. Because every little error you made helped you build the strong English you speak now. So please, don't wait to be perfect. Be a beginner. Be messy. Be human. That's how we all start. And your diary is the best place to make every mistake you need, with love, with honesty, and with no shame. Make mistakes. That's not a problem. That's the plan. Chapter 7. Morning or night. Find your writing time. When I first started writing in my English diary, I didn't know when was the best time to write. Some days I wrote in the morning. Some days I waited until the night. Other days I forgot completely. My routine had no rhythm. I felt confused. I asked myself, should I write after I wake up or before I sleep? I didn't have the answer. But I kept trying different times, and slowly, I began to feel a difference. I learned something very important. The best time to write is the time that feels right for you. Some people love the morning. They wake up early. Their mind is fresh, the world is quiet, and everything feels new. Morning writing is like planting a seed. You start your day with your thoughts, your goals, your plans. When I wrote in the morning, I felt calm. I wrote about what I wanted to do, how I wanted to feel, or what I dreamed the night before. Even short sentences help me focus. I wrote, "Today I will be brave," or "I want to speak English more today." These words became my intention, and they stayed with me all day. But other times, I wrote at night. The house was quiet. The day was over. My heart had more to say. Night writing is like a reflection, a mirror for the soul. I wrote about what happened, how I felt, what I did right, what I didn't do. It helped me understand myself. It helped me relax before sleep. My sentences were gentle, like whispers. I felt tired today, but I tried. Or, I spoke one English sentence at work. Writing at night felt like closing a small door with love. It helped me sleep with peace. Both times are good. Both have different feelings. But you don't have to choose one forever. You can try both and see what fits you. For 1 week, write in the morning. For the next week, try writing at night. Listen to your energy. When does your mind feel soft? When do your thoughts flow better? That is your time. You don't need a big space or a perfect hour. Just 5 minutes in your day. 5 quiet minutes that belong to you and your words. Some people even write twice. Once in the morning and once at night. That's beautiful too. In the morning, they set a goal. At night, they reflect on it. One sentence in the morning. I will try to speak English today. One sentence at night. I spoke with my friend for 2 minutes. These small actions build a deep connection between writing and living. You start using English not only to record your life, but to guide it. But if your days are busy and your schedule is full, don't worry. Choose one moment. Maybe during your tea break. Maybe after dinner. Maybe while waiting in the bus. You don't need a big ritual. You need a small promise. A promise to write, no matter when. That promise is your power. And once you find your best time, it becomes a habit. Your brain starts to expect it. Your hand reaches for the pen naturally. It becomes a part of who you are. When I made writing part of my routine, my English changed. My confidence changed. I wasn't just learning from outside. I was learning from inside. My diary became my teacher, my friend, my mirror. And finding my writing time was the secret. Not because it was perfect, but because it was mine. It belonged to me. You might miss a day. You might feel tired. That's okay. But don't give up. Come back the next day. Your diary will still be there. Waiting. Ready. With open pages and no judgment. You don't need to write for 1 hour. Just one moment. Just one thought. Just one line. So ask yourself now, when do I feel quiet? When can I give myself a few minutes? Morning or night, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you write. At your time. In your way. With your heart. Because your English grows in those little moments. When the world is still. When your heart speaks. When your pen moves. Find your writing time. And make it your special time. Chapter 8. The first 30 days. My emotional roller coaster. I thought keeping an English diary would be easy. I thought I would write every day, feel good, and become fluent quickly. But when I started, the truth felt very different. The first 30 days were not easy. They were full of emotions. Some days I felt excited. Some days I felt proud. But other days, I felt lost, lazy, or even sad. I didn't know what to say. I didn't want to pick up my pen. I wanted to quit. But I didn't. I kept going. And now, looking back, I see those first 30 days were the most important part of my journey. On day 1, I was nervous. I didn't know what to write. I sat in silence for 5 minutes, just holding my pen. Then I wrote one sentence. Today, I am starting something new. That was enough. I closed the book and smiled. On day 2, I wrote about my breakfast. On day 3, I wrote that I felt tired. The words were simple. The sentences were short. But every day, they became easier. I started to feel more comfortable with my English. I was building a habit, slowly, quietly, but surely. By the end of the first week, something strange happened. I missed a day. I was busy. I forgot. When I remembered, it was too late. I felt guilty. I told myself, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I'm too weak. But then I remembered something important. This is not school. This is not a test. This is a gift I give to myself. I told myself, it's okay. You missed one day. You can still write tomorrow. And I did. That small act, returning after a missed day, made me stronger than writing 7 days in a row. The second week felt different. I started writing a little more. Not just one line, sometimes 2 or 3. My diary started to feel like a friend. I wasn't just writing what I did. I was writing how I felt. I was nervous before my presentation. I was happy to help my sister. These small feelings became big lessons. I was learning not only English, but also how to be honest with myself. It was healing. It was human. It was powerful. But the third week was the hardest. My motivation disappeared. I felt tired of the routine. My sentences felt boring. I asked myself, why am I doing this? Is it helping me? I wanted to stop. But deep inside, I knew this was normal. All good habits feel hard in the beginning. I remembered something I once heard. Don't judge a habit by one bad day. So I didn't. I kept writing, even when I didn't feel like it. Even when my words were small and dry. I kept the door open. I showed up. By the 4th week, something changed again. I read my old pages. I looked at my first sentence. I smiled. Today I am starting something new. That sentence felt like a seed. And now, I had a little tree. I saw progress. I saw my thoughts, my feelings, my little victories. I felt proud, not because my English was perfect, but because I didn't give up. I stayed with the habit. I stayed with myself. That gave me more power than any grammar rule ever did. In those 30 days, I didn't become fluent, but I became consistent. I became brave. I became more honest with my words. I didn't write perfectly, but I wrote truly. And that's what made the difference. Because fluency doesn't start with long essays or perfect sentences. It starts with one real sentence, written every day. Your first 30 days will not be smooth. You will feel up and down. Some days will feel magical. Others will feel like nothing. But that's okay. That's part of the journey. Feel it all. Not at all. Let your diary hold your emotions. Let it carry your thoughts, the good ones, the boring ones, and the hard ones. Because when you look back, you will not only see your English growing, you will see your strength. So if you're in your first week, keep going. If you miss today, come back. If you feel bored, write that. If you feel excited, share it. Everything belongs in your diary. You are not only learning English. You are learning patience. You are learning discipline. You are learning love for your own journey. Your diary is your quiet place to feel everything. And in the first 30 days, you will feel it all. But if you keep writing, just one line at a time, you will surprise yourself. Not just with your English, but with who you are becoming. Chapter 9. Use a mirror and read your diary aloud. One day, I was writing in my diary as usual. I wrote about my morning walk. I wrote about how the air felt cold and fresh, how I smiled at a dog on the street, and how I felt peaceful. After writing, I closed the notebook. But then something strange happened. I opened it again, looked at my sentences, and slowly read them out loud. At first, it felt funny. I wasn't used to hearing my own voice in English. But after a few seconds, I looked at the mirror in front of me, and something changed. I saw myself speaking English. Not writing. Speaking. And that was the day I discovered a new kind of power. Reading your diary out loud in front of a mirror may sound simple, but it is one of the strongest ways to build your English speaking skill. When you write, you learn how to express. But when you read your words aloud, you train your voice. You practice your pronunciation. You hear the rhythm of English. You listen to yourself. And slowly, your mouth begins to move naturally with English sounds. That's how confidence starts. Not with big speeches, but with your own small sentences spoken to your own face. The first time I read to the mirror, I laughed. It felt strange. I made mistakes. My tongue felt heavy. I stopped in the middle and thought, this is silly. But something inside me whispered, do it again. So I did. I read the same sentence again. Then another. My voice was slow, my words were simple, but I kept going. And each time, I felt a little stronger. Not because my English was perfect, but because I was showing up. I was facing my fear, my own reflection, and choosing to speak. The mirror doesn't judge you. It doesn't correct you. It just reflects you. It shows you the most important listener, yourself. And that is why it works. Speaking in front of a mirror is safe. You don't need to be shy. You don't need to worry about mistakes. You don't need to impress anyone. It's just you and your voice. That's the best place to begin. And when you speak your diary entries out loud, the words become real. You are no longer thinking about English. You are using it. Many learners say, I understand English, but I can't speak. And I understand that pain. I felt it too. I could write. I could read. But when I tried to speak, my mouth felt frozen. My mind went blank. But when I started reading my diary out loud, something changed. My tongue became more flexible. My ears got used to the sound. My fear began to melt. Day by day, line by line, I started to believe, yes, I can speak. Your diary is your practice script. You wrote the words yourself. They are easy. They are familiar. That's why they are the best sentences to practice speaking. You don't need to search for dialogues online. You don't need to memorize big words. Just take your own sentences and speak them. Read them slow. Read them with feeling. Look at your face in the mirror. Watch your lips move. Listen to your voice. And don't worry if you sound strange at first. Keep going. Sometimes, I repeated one sentence 5 times. I said it with a smile. I said it with sadness. I said it like a question. I said it like a song. This made my mouth stronger. It made my English natural. And the best part? I felt proud. I wasn't only writing in English. I was living it, hearing it, becoming it. All from the mirror in my room. If you feel nervous, that's normal. If you feel shy, that's okay. But don't let those feelings stop you. Let them join you. Talk to your fear. Say, I am learning. I am trying. I am growing. Then say your diary sentences out loud. Even one line. Even if it's just, I feel sleepy today. That small sound is your first step toward fluency. And the more you do it, the more natural it feels. Soon, your brain starts thinking in English. Your voice becomes more relaxed. Your confidence grows quietly. like a flower blooming in the dark. And one day, you will speak to a real person and realize you're ready. So after you write your diary today, stand in front of the mirror. Read it out loud, slowly, gently, with love. Watch yourself speak English. Believe in that person, because that person is you, and your voice is stronger than you think. Chapter 10. Your diary becomes your best English teacher. In the beginning, I thought I needed a teacher to correct every mistake. I believed someone had to guide me, explain every grammar rule, and tell me how to improve. I waited for that perfect teacher, the one who would make me fluent with lessons and tests. But what I didn't know was that my best teacher was already with me. It was not in a classroom. It was not on YouTube. It was not an expensive course. It was my diary. My simple notebook filled with my own words became the most powerful English teacher I ever had. The first time I looked back at my old diary entries, I felt something strange. I read my first sentence, "Today is good day." I smiled. It was not correct. A small word was missing. It should be, "Today is a good day." But I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel stupid. I felt proud, because I had written that sentence with courage. And now, I could see my own mistake. I didn't need a teacher to tell me. I saw it. I understood it. And that was the lesson. When you write daily and later read your own words, you start to notice things. You notice small errors. You see patterns. You realize, I always forget a and that. Or, I use the same word too many times. You become your own teacher, gently, patiently, kindly. You learn without pressure. And the best part? You never forget the lessons you teach yourself. One day, I noticed I kept writing the word he when I meant she. It happened 3 or 4 times. At first, I didn't realize. But when I read the entries again, I saw it clearly. And from that day, I became more careful. I started paying attention to my pronouns. I didn't need a grammar book. I didn't need a red pen. I just needed my own words to guide me. That is the magic of a diary. It holds your English like a mirror, and when you look back, you learn with love. Some people say, "But I don't know if my sentences are correct." That's okay. You don't need to know right away. Just write. Later, when you read them again, maybe after 1 week or 1 month, your brain will be ready to notice more. You will see small things you didn't see before. That's how real learning happens, when your brain connects naturally, without stress. Your diary gives you this gift. Another powerful thing I discovered was that my diary helped me remember words better than flashcards. When I wrote a new word in a real sentence, it stayed in my mind longer. I didn't just see the word. I felt it. I used it. I made it part of my story. That emotional connection made my vocabulary stronger. It was not just memorizing. It was living with the word. And that kind of learning is deep. It becomes part of who you are. My diary also helped me understand grammar in a kind way. Instead of memorizing rules, I learned by doing. I learned how to use past tense by writing about yesterday. I learned how to use future tense by writing about tomorrow. I learned I have and I had just by using them in real moments. I didn't always get it right, but I learned with feeling, and that made it easier to remember. Even today, I use my diary as a learning tool. I sometimes write and then go back to check. I look at one sentence and ask myself, can I say this in a better way? And sometimes I can. Not always. But even when I can't, I know I'm learning. I'm thinking in English. I'm reviewing with care. That review is not boring. It's personal. It's emotional. And it helps me grow. Your diary is not just a place to write your day. It is a living lesson book. A book where you are the student and the teacher. A book that listens to your words and helps you hear them again. A book that grows with you. And it's free. No cost. No deadlines. Just your heart, your pen, and your journey. So if you ever feel lost in English, open your diary. If you ever feel stuck, read your old pages. If you want to improve, look at your own words. They are full of lessons. Lessons only you can learn, because they come from your real life. You don't need to be corrected by others every time. You can correct yourself with love, with time, and with practice. And your diary will always be there, like a quiet, honest, powerful teacher who never leaves your side. Chapter 11. Add feelings, not just facts. When I first started writing my English diary, I focused only on facts. I wrote things like, I woke up at 7, or I ate rice, or I watched TV. These were safe sentences. Simple, easy. But after some time, I felt something was missing. I didn't feel connected to my writing. I read my diary, and it felt flat. It didn't feel like my real life. That's when I realized the truth. I was writing actions, not emotions. I was writing what I did, but not how I felt. And the heart of a diary is not just what happened, it's what it meant to you. One evening, after a long day, I sat down with my diary and wrote, I went to work today. But I didn't stop there. I asked myself, how did I feel at work? And I answered, I felt nervous before the meeting, but later I was proud. Just one small change, one feeling, made my writing feel alive. I wasn't only recording my day. I was opening my heart. And that changed everything. Feelings are what make your diary strong. They make your English deeper, more personal, and more honest. Anyone can say, I ate lunch. But when you say, I ate lunch with my sister and I felt happy, now the sentence becomes real. It becomes yours. It's no longer just practice. It becomes a story. Your story. When you add feelings, you also grow your English. You learn new words like tired, excited, worried, calm, lonely, hopeful. You learn to describe more than actions. You learn to describe life. And when you do that, your diary becomes more than just words on paper. It becomes a reflection of your inner world. That's how your English becomes natural, when it connects to your true emotions. I started practicing this every day. Instead of only writing what I did, I also wrote how I felt about it. I took the bus, and I felt sleepy. I studied English, and I felt proud. I didn't talk much today, and I felt alone. These feelings helped me understand myself. They also helped me express myself in English. And over time, I felt more fluent, not just with grammar, but with honesty. Some people are afraid to talk about feelings. They think, I don't know how to explain emotions in English. But you don't need big words. Even simple ones can carry strong meaning. I was sad. I was happy. I was scared. These are small, but powerful. And as you use them more, you'll start to explore deeper feelings. You'll write sentences like, I felt a little nervous before the phone call, but I was okay after. That's beautiful English. That's real fluency. And the best part? Writing your feelings helps you feel better. It helps you heal. On hard days, I wrote about my stress, my fears, my loneliness. The page listened to me. It didn't judge. It didn't laugh. It just held my truth. And when I finished writing, I felt lighter. I felt like someone had heard me, even if that someone was just me. That is the quiet power of writing with emotion. Even happy moments became stronger when I wrote how I felt. I ate cake became I ate chocolate cake, and I felt so happy because it reminded me of my childhood. Just one feeling turned a sentence into a memory, a moment into a gift. And over time, my diary became a collection of not just what I did, but who I was, who I am, who I'm becoming. So today, when you write in your diary, try adding one small feeling. You don't need to be dramatic, just real. I cleaned my room, and I felt relaxed. I called my friend, and I felt warm inside. These are your truths. These are your English victories. Because when you can express your heart in English, you are not just learning, you are living the language. Your diary is not a report. It's a conversation with yourself. And in a real conversation, we don't just say what we did. We say how we feel. So start doing that in your writing. Slowly, softly, honestly. Because your feelings matter. Your emotions matter. And your diary is ready to hold them all, one word at a time. Chapter 12. My diary spoke back to me one day. I didn't know this would happen. I had no idea that a notebook full of my thoughts, my feelings, and my small daily sentences would one day speak back to me. But it did. Not with sound. Not with words I didn't write. But with something deeper. It spoke to me with memory. With meaning. With a mirror that showed me who I used to be and how far I had come. I didn't expect it. But one day, after writing for many weeks, I opened my old pages. I started reading from the beginning. And that's when it happened. I read my very first diary sentence again. Today, I try English. Just those 4 simple words. My grammar wasn't right. My spelling was shaky. But my heart was brave. I smiled. Then I turned the page. I read about a rainy day, about a simple lunch, about a small win at work. I read my feelings. I felt tired. I felt nervous. I felt proud. I read the mistakes I made, the little victories I celebrated. And suddenly, I felt something warm inside me. It was like my past self was whispering, "Look how far you've come." It felt like the pages were alive. Each sentence I read carried a version of me, the beginner me, the scared me, the trying me. And now, I was reading it all with stronger eyes, with clearer understanding. I noticed how my sentences became longer. I saw how my vocabulary grew. I saw how my feelings became more honest. It was like watching a flower grow, petal by petal, without even realizing it was blooming. I sat with that diary for a long time. I turned each page slowly. I wasn't judging my English. I wasn't looking for perfection. I was simply listening to my own journey. And it was beautiful. It was real. I saw the days when I almost gave up. The days I missed. The days I wrote only one line. But I also saw something greater. I saw that I kept coming back. I saw my courage. I saw my effort. And that made me feel something I hadn't felt before. Deep, gentle pride. That day, my diary gave me more than practice. It gave me proof. Proof that I was not lazy. Proof that I was growing. Proof that I was becoming the English speaker I dreamed of being. It didn't matter that I was still learning. It didn't matter that I made mistakes. What mattered was that I had written my story, one small line at a time. And now, my story was speaking to me. Your diary will do the same for you. One day, maybe weeks or months from now, you will open those old pages. You will see your first sentence. You will read your simple words. And you will hear something. Not out loud, but in your heart. You will hear your own progress. You will hear the sound of your journey. The voice of your past self saying, "You did it." This is something no textbook can give you. No app. No teacher. Only your diary. Only your real effort. Only your quiet moments with your pen and paper. And when your diary speaks back, it will not speak in grammar rules. It will speak in courage, in small steps, in soft victories. And you will know, deep in your soul, that you are a learner who never gave up. You may not feel this now. Maybe you just started. Maybe your words feel small. But trust me, every page you write is a gift to your future self. Every sentence is a light you leave behind. One day, when you need it most, that light will guide you. That is what happened to me. That is what will happen to you. And when it does, you will feel something powerful. Not just that you learned English, but that you became someone stronger. So keep writing, even when you don't feel like it. Even when the sentences feel boring. Keep writing, because one day, your diary will speak back to you. And when it does, you will smile. You will sit quietly with your past words and say, "Thank you, old me. Thank you for not giving up." And your future self will thank you, too. Chapter 13. Add one new word each day. There was a time when I tried to learn 50 new words in 1 week. I bought a vocabulary book. I underlined words. I made long lists. I tried to memorize them all. I told myself, this is how I will become fluent. But by the end of the week, I felt tired. I couldn't remember most of the words. They were gone. My brain was full, but nothing stayed. I felt like I was wasting time. And that's when I made a quiet decision. I stopped chasing big lists. I started choosing just one word a day. And that changed everything. One word a day may sound too small, but it's not. One word, used again and again in your own life, becomes powerful. It becomes part of you. When I started this small habit, I felt lighter. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't confused. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was focused. Each morning, I found one word. Sometimes from a video. Sometimes from a book. Sometimes from a conversation or even a thought. I wrote that word at the top of my diary page. I looked at it. I whispered it. I smiled at it. And then, I used it in my diary sentence. If the word was rain, I wrote, "I walked in the rain today." If the word was busy, I wrote, "I had a busy day at work." It was simple, but because it came from my day, it became personal. That word stayed in my memory. Not because I repeated it 10 times, but because I lived with it. I gave it meaning. I gave it feeling. And that made it stick. You don't need to know 1,000 words today. You need to know the right ones. The words that connect to your world. Start with the ones you use every day. Words for food, for feelings, for actions. Hungry, tired, walk, smile, coal. These words are not small. They are gold. They help you tell your story. And every time you write a diary entry with a new word, your story grows. Your world grows. Your English grows. I remember learning the word lonely. It was during a quiet evening. I had no one to talk to, so I wrote, "I feel lonely today." That word stayed with me for weeks. I saw it again in books, in movies, in other people's voices. It became familiar. And later, I learned how to say, "I don't like being lonely," or "I was lonely, but now I'm okay." All of that started from one small word, used in my diary, on a real day, with a real feeling. You can do this too. Every day, choose one word. Write it down. Speak it. And then use it. Don't worry about spelling or grammar. Don't worry if the sentence is perfect. Just use it in your voice, in your way. You will feel proud. You will feel connected. You will feel like the word belongs to you. Some days, you may forget. That's okay. The next day, pick another word. Your diary is not a race. It's a garden. You plant one seed at a time. You water it with your thoughts, and slowly it grows. In 1 year, you will have 365 words. More than that, you will have 365 memories, 365 moments of growth, 365 steps toward fluency. And the best part? You will remember these words not from studying, but from living, because you wrote them, you felt them, you used them in your day. No teacher can give you that kind of learning. Only you can give it to yourself. So today, look around you. What is one new word you see, hear, or feel? Write it. Use it. Give it a home in your diary. And tomorrow, do the same. One word, one sentence, one step. That's how your English becomes not just a language, but a part of your life. Chapter 14. When you miss a day, don't quit. There was a day I didn't write in my diary. I had planned to. I even opened the notebook. But I felt tired. I had too many things on my mind. I said, I'll write later. But later didn't come. I went to sleep without writing a single word. And the next day, I felt guilty. I looked at the blank page and thought, I failed. I told myself, maybe I'm not serious enough. Maybe I'll never be fluent. That one missed day felt like a heavy rock on my heart. But now I know, missing a day does not mean you have failed. It simply means you are human. We all miss days. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we are tired. Sometimes we just don't feel like it. And that's okay. A missed day is not the end. It is just a pause. And what matters most is not that you missed one day. It's what you do the next day. Do you give up? Or do you return? The answer makes all the difference. After that missed day, I almost closed my diary for good. But something inside me said, just write one line today. So I did. I opened the book, wrote one simple sentence. I missed yesterday, but I'm here today. That one line saved my habit. It reminded me that I didn't need to be perfect. I just needed to come back. That is the true strength. Not writing every day without fail, but coming back after a fall. And the more I wrote, the more I realized that missing a day was part of the journey. It didn't erase my progress. It didn't cancel all the sentences I had written before. My diary still held my thoughts, my voice, my effort. Nothing was lost. I was still on the path. I just needed to take one more step forward. There were even weeks when I missed 2, 3, or 4 days. Life got busy. My energy dropped. But every time I returned, I wrote with more love. I wrote with more truth. I wrote sentences like, I missed 3 days, but I'm not giving up. Or, I'm starting again today, and that's enough. These moments became some of the most powerful pages in my diary. Not because the English was perfect, but because the message was honest. I kept going. So if you ever miss a day, or many days, please don't quit. Don't throw your diary away. Don't say, I can't do this. Instead, say, I will try again. Your diary is patient. It doesn't get angry. It doesn't close the door. It waits for you. It welcomes you back every time you return. And when you do, you grow stronger. Not just in English, but in life. The truth is, habits are not about never missing. They are about returning. Real progress is not a straight line. It has ups and downs. You will feel motivated some days, lazy on others. But if you keep returning again and again, your habit becomes unbreakable. Your diary becomes your anchor. And your English grows, even when your routine is not perfect. And remember, you don't need to write a lot when you return. Just one sentence. Even one word. Hello, I'm back. Missed this. That's enough. That's powerful, because that one line says, I didn't give up, and that matters more than anything else. I look back at the blank pages in my diary now, and I don't feel shame. I feel respect, because I know I kept going. I know I forgave myself. I know I chose progress over perfection. And that is what helped me grow, not just in English, but in confidence, in discipline, and in self-love. So if you are watching this and thinking, I missed a day or many days, I want to say this to you. You can come back. Right now, you can write today, and that will be enough. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are still learning, still growing, still worthy of success. Your English diary is not just about writing daily. It's about building a relationship with yourself. And like all relationships, it takes time, patience, and kindness. So be kind and come back. The next page is waiting for you. It always is. Chapter 15. My diary became my English voice. When I first started writing in English, I didn't feel like I had a voice. I had thoughts in my mind, but they were in my native language. I had feelings in my heart, but I didn't know how to express them in English. I wanted to speak, but the words didn't come. I listened to others and felt small. I stayed quiet in conversations. I smiled and nodded, even when I had something to say. It wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I couldn't find the words fast enough. I felt like English was a language I could understand, but not live. But that changed, slowly, quietly, and beautifully, because of one simple thing. My diary. At first, my diary was just a small notebook. I wrote short sentences, nothing special. I didn't know it then, but every sentence I wrote was a whisper that one day would become my voice. I wrote about my days, my food, my routines. I wrote about my hopes, my fears, and my plans. Each sentence was like a small brick, and without even knowing it, I was building something strong. I was building my English voice, one quiet word at a time. Writing gave me something that no classroom ever gave me: confidence. It gave me a space where I was allowed to make mistakes, a space where I could express myself without fear. And the more I wrote, the more I understood myself, not just in English, but as a person. My diary held my truths. My diary listened to my silence. My diary said, it's okay. You can speak here. Over time, something amazing happened. I started hearing English inside my head, not because I was forcing it, but because I was living with it. My thoughts started coming in English. My diary sentences became my thoughts, and my thoughts became my voice. When I wanted to speak to someone, I remembered a sentence I had written in my diary. I used it. It came out naturally, and I smiled, because I knew that sentence had been born on a page in my room on a quiet night. And now it was flying out of my mouth, real and alive. My diary didn't just teach me English. It gave me power, the power to express myself, the power to believe that my words mattered, the power to say, I have something to say. Before, I waited for others to speak first. But now I could begin. I could start conversations. I could share my ideas. I could talk about my day, my dreams, my favorite food, not with fear, but with joy. And all of this happened without any big secret. Just one habit, one notebook, one small promise to myself. I will try. Day after day, sentence after sentence. I created a space where English was not just a subject. It became my language, my tool, my voice. There were days I didn't feel strong, days I didn't feel smart. But even on those days, I wrote. I said, I'm tired, or I feel lost. And even those words helped me find myself. Because I wasn't writing for anyone else. I was writing to connect. And now, I speak with that same connection. With honesty. With heart. So today, if you still feel afraid to speak, I understand you. If your voice feels small, I understand. But please, don't give up. Start where I did, with a diary. Don't wait for the perfect sentence. Write the real one. Don't wait for someone to listen. Listen to yourself first. Your voice doesn't have to be loud. It only has to be true. And one day, just like me, you will realize that the words you wrote in silence are now coming out of your mouth. That the sentences you created in your notebook are now helping you speak to others. That your diary has become your voice. Because your English voice is not something you find outside. It's something you build from inside. And every word you write brings it closer. So write, speak, believe. Your diary is not just paper. It's your practice, your progress, your promise. You are not silent. You are not stuck. You are simply becoming. And your diary is walking with you every step of the way. If this video helped you, if this journey touched something in your heart, I want you to take a small action today. Pick up any notebook. Write one sentence in English, just one. Start your diary. Start your voice. And then tell me in the comments. I wrote today. That's it. I'll be reading. I'll be smiling. Because I know what that one sentence means. And if you want more support, more stories, and more simple ways to speak English from your heart, subscribe to this channel, Unleash Your English. Like this video. Share with a friend who needs a voice too. You don't need to be perfect. You just need one sentence. And your voice will follow. Let's grow together, one word at a time.